Guys, D here, another Tuesday from my spooky studio, and we've got something exciting to talk about. At least we'll see. Gonna wait for everybody to join. Ah, oh my gosh. Oh, I thought he fell over. Hey, Jim, welcome, buddy. Nice to see you. Hope everything's going well. I've been thinking of you and your yup. I've been thinking of you and your family. Oh, what the heck? I might as well just get started talking and everyone else can filter in after that. But hi, if you are new here, welcome. My name is Deandra, and every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, I jump on to interact with a bunch of horror fans in the comments, just talking about different topics. Could be anything from my collection to what's happening in the world of horror to something else that's been heavy on my noggin. And today's topic, if you couldn't tell by the title, is well, basically trying to figure out what we think could be happening in Scream 6. Based on number 5, here's what we know thus far. Oh, hey, Trash Stash, Corey, John. Oh my gosh, hi, John. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to spend with me. So, like I was saying, Scream 5. What we know is that, well, if you haven't seen Scream 5, please don't go any further. Crap, I said no spoilers. Well, I'm going to try and be as vague as possible. We know that one of the characters, well, actually, yes, one of the characters is related to a past character, and that past character appeared in the movie in a very strange way that I wasn't totally on board with. But it was very interesting, and it was kind of the transition from the originals to this new cast. Sydney came back for a little bit, and, we lost one of the OGs, and now, as far as we know, only one of the OGs is left. We do have some reoccurring characters. I, for one, am super excited to see Kirby return. As some of you may know or may not know, after the first Scream, my favorite Scream movie is Scream 4. And I think it just says a lot about influencer culture, which we didn't really have back then. I mean, this was 2011. It was the beginning of jumping online and people getting fans, but it was happening. And basically, that's what the killer in Scream 4 was after. And Kirby was that horror fan, somewhat similar to like a Randy in a way, but way cooler. I mean, she had the pixie cut. She that glass, the tension between Kirby and that glass with the ice in it, immaculate. Immaculate. Love Kirby. She's a fan favorite. Of course, we have Mindy, who's from Scream 5, who is also, a descendant of Randy's and a horror connoisseur, and I'm curious to see what her and Kirby are gonna come up with. It should be, complimentary. We'll see. Mud, hello. He said, "IDK if I'm gonna be able to stay long enough to actually explain myself, but I have a crazy theory about Randy returning." Ooh. Oh, I wanna hear it. Corey said, "Yas, Kirby Reed, so excited to see her back. Yes, yes, yes. Seeing Kirby again is worth the price of admission. Amen, Jim." Um, So before I get into potential theories for Scream 6, what do you guys think about the new cast from Scream 5? The additions, Sam, Tara, Mindy, all of the people who survived Scream 5. What did you think about them? It's very interesting because I knew personally, me, that Tara was going to be a great actress based on the very beginning performance. I really didn't know much about Jenna Ortega at the time, but of course, since then, last year, she's completely blown up. I mean, she just took over 2022 between X and Wednesday and gosh, there were a bunch of other things she was in that I listed them out, but, I couldn't quite remember what the rest of the movies were, but she had a lot going on in 2022, so I'm super proud of her for that. She's definitely a very popular actress now, and a lot of people just loved Tara, but not a lot of people seem to like Sam. which is interesting. She's definitely not your stereotypical horror character. She's a little more of a tomboy, a little tougher. She was definitely a tough egg to crack for Sydney to kind of get through. And I was a little disappointed that Sydney didn't have more of a heart to heart with Sam to kind of pass down the torch in a sense of like final girl to final girl, since Sam seems to be the main character now going forward. But we'll see. Let's take a look at your comments. He who turgles, sup turgle, ahoy, sledgehammer gang. Sorry I'm late. Ahoy. Nobody says that. I love that. Mikey, hey, honestly, the standout for me was Jenna Ortega. Love all the things she's in. She's a natural scream queen. Totally. Corey said, I love the Meek twins, especially Mindy's actress because she kills it in Yellow Jackets. Yeah, that's right. She is in Yellow Jackets. What a show. Turgles said Meeks twin supremacy. Whoop, whoop. There's something about the Meeks family. They got it going on. Jim said Yellow Jackets is legit. Yes. Good show. If you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend. Of course, it also has the lovely Christina Ricci in it. And we all know that she is just such an icon of all things spooky and a terrific actress. But when it comes to Scream 6, I gotta be honest with you guys. Despite it being my second favorite horror franchise, it is I don't really know much about Scream 6. I've kind of tried to stay away from everything to go in almost Scream 5, I got so excited I started to watch a bunch of different things and I, got a little too immersed in it and I feel like I learned more than I wanted to going in. But when it comes to Scream 6, all I pretty much know is that it takes place in New York City. Kirby's back, a lot of the cast of 5 are back, Gail's back, just basically what you see in the teaser and the regular trailer. And that there's apparently a shrine to Ghostface, which is pretty obvious that it's got to be the new killer. Whoever the killer is has that shrine. Sammy said Ghostface will be a zombified Maureen Prescott. Oh my gosh. That's why the mask is so strange. It's zombies. Turgle said, hella spoilers on Twitter, and I have to review it. Dodging the bird, app like bullets. I have not seen any of those spoilers, but I've heard stuff. I've seen people get upset. They haven't gone into it, but apparently people are spoiling the killer, which is why I said no spoilers in this. I am going to try to read comments to myself, which I've not been doing a great job of, before saying them out loud, because I just feel like if you come in here and you spoil Scream 6, I'm going to be really, really upset at you. And I will make this face. And you're going to be really sorry for what you just did. Just saying. But like I said, I don't really know much. I'm curious to see how things are going to be different in New York City. It looks like, Ghostface. He's like, oh, I'm a different Ghostface. I'm not like the ones before. Like, yeah, doesn't everybody say that? So I'm curious to know how he's different. How are they going to shake up the Ghostface character in this one? Is it going to be, 2 killers again? Are we going to go with the whole 2 killer thing? So predictable, but then again, it's a part of Scream, so will they deviate? Will we get something like 1 killer the whole time? Will we get 1 lead killer, a cult of Ghostface? Will we get 2 killers, but maybe 1 dies early and is unmasked, and they spend the rest of the movie trying to figure out who the second one is? Curious to see about that. Take a look at the comments. Corey said, you're going to end up with Merritt. Merritt. It better not be Merritt. It better not. If you guys don't know who Merritt is, you should watch our Snacks and Screams on Freddy's Nightmares. I got beef. Jim said, I am thinking it's going to be a Ghostface cult. That's what it seems like, Jim. It just, with all of the memorabilia in that giant room, and they're in New York City with a lot of people, not in Woodsboro. Sam in the trailer says that she has a dark secret, and it follows her. Like, how did it follow her? And then, of course, they're after her at the very end. But who's after her? Why are they after her? What do they want from her? Do they just want to kill her because she's the final girl? Or does it have something to do with who her father is? Discuss. Trash Stash. He says Ghostface is going to be a CGI Humphrey Bogart. He's gonna take off his mask and say, "Here's looking at you, kid." No one will see that coming. To be honest, bud, I didn't see that coming. I would be totally shocked. I'd be like, "What?" Mikey said, "I think one escapes at the end would be insane." Oh, yeah, like the original Scream 4 plan. That's what I'm wondering. Does someone get away with it at the end? What is gonna be different about this one? Or is that gonna be for Scream 7? Turgle says, "It's Roman Bridger again. He's bulletproofed his skull in 3." Why didn't I think of that? He was in the movies. It was probably all practical effects anyway. Duh. Um, I am really hoping that it's not just another one of the new characters or like 2 of the new characters, because when I went to see 5, within the first, I don't know, 10 minutes, once we got kinda knowing all the characters, I was like, "Those 2 were the killers, and those 2 ended up being the killers." I am super curious who it's going to be. I heard that Kirby is in it for a little bit, so hopefully she doesn't die, but I wonder if maybe Kirby, you know, was a horror fan, and she went through everything in Scream 4, and then she, I don't know, pursued a career in filmmaking, and that's how she caught up with everybody in New York City, and now she's got this shrine, of movie props because that's what horror fans do, they're collectors, movie prop collectors. That's what all that is. It's somebody who's a major horror fan who has that collection, and they're a Scream fan, a ghost head, I don't know, something like that. That's what I'm wondering, and I'm wondering if it could be, Kirby could be a part of it because she was such a big horror fan, and then she found all these other people who are horror fans, and, it's not just about being a horror fan and being into the macabre, it's also true crime, the rise of true crime. Everybody loves true crime, so it's like the intersection of horror, loving horror, and having that collection of horror and true crime because those stories really did happen. So now people are, you know, living out this fantasy of theirs of actually being in the movie because they're just massive fans. I mean, when we think about the evolution of horror over time, Scream has really commented on horror movies over time and what's different about them. Whether it's a sequel or a threequel or a remake or a requel, like what is this one gonna be? Is it gonna have one of those cool elements to it, or is it just gonna go back to talking about, being a fan of these things and fandom and the effects that horror movie or true crime have on people? Is that gonna be an element of this one? Because New York, it's LA and New York, big movie centers, places where people who have aspirations of getting into the movies are. Who knows? Maybe that's what this one could be. Um, Let me go down. Jim said, "Too many different masks being shown for it to be 1 or 2 folks." That's true, but also, I mean, they all kind of look similar, so maybe it's just, like, the progression of the mask throughout the movie. Maybe, it gets more damaged because this one's a badass, he's not like everybody else. Corey said, "So everyone says Stu is dead, but there is a lot to suggest otherwise. Look at Stu's name on Scream 6 subway poster. Stu's name is colored differently." Oh, I did not notice that. I did not notice that. Now I know, and this is one thing that could be very, very interesting is that Matthew Lillard, actually Kevin Williamson has said Stu's dead. Matthew Lillard has been like, "I'm dead, guys. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead." Which, by the way, this ghost face and every single ghost face that I have underneath, it's all Stu Macher. They're all Stu. This is Stu right here back there. It's also Stu. It's Stu. He's Stu in that box. This is Stu. Anywho, so you guys know that I love Stu, but like, what you could have him be like, "It's not me," and everyone's like, "Oh no, we admitted it's not him." But what a shocker that would be if he came back like, "Haha, you think you got us, but you didn't." Ha. Or is it Sydney? Because she doesn't really appear. Did she just snap? She wants to put an end to it once and for all. I don't know. I don't know. What if it was Sydney? How would you guys feel about that? Not sure how I would feel. That would be quite a twist. Turgle said, jokes aside, Kirby is for sure going to be the killer. I feel it in my bones. It does kind of feel that way. Sammy said, are you lying to us and you're actually the secret Ghostface with a Craven last name? You're going to have to figure that out. I can't just tell you. Gory Bits, hey buddy. By the way, Gory Bits, super awesome channel. Very, very, very appreciative for the support of Kinder Drama that you're doing, Gory Bits. Thank you very much. I may have a question for you. We'll talk about that later. Trash Stash said, maybe it'll be a famous New York icon like Rachel Ray. Oh, honey, what if? Oh, cooking? Oh, just stabbing and cooking? I'd watch it. Dinner and a movie. Jim said, what would be amazing but almost impossible to pull off in this internet age if they made Sydney the killer? I know. Corey said, my theory is that one killer is a survivor from 5, one of the siblings. What if? What if it's Mindy? It's the fandom element. It's a mix. It's a mix. Sammy said, mamas will go to great length to protect their youngins. Yes. Whomst could it be? I definitely am trying to think it probably is like a bunch of ghost faces, you know, Ghostface fan club. Because it's always been the 2 killers. And before in 5, they were like, we just want to make, you know, the proper sequel, which I thought it was like one of the weakest reasons to go after the people from the movies or anything like that. Although bringing it back to Stu's house was such a nice nod. But I just feel like, you know, it was a little weak and I feel like they could push it a little farther. But maybe what happened in 5 will be built on in 6, and that's the whole fandom, you know, element of it. But we already talked about fans, so wonder what this could be. Now, I did hear on Twitter, this is not going to be a spoiler, but maybe it's a spoiler. Somebody was just really upset when they learned what the ending was. So who knows? Maybe it'll be like a oh man, I could have been so much better. Or maybe it'll be like, dang it, I wish that I didn't know this and went in blind. Corey said, money is on Martha Meeks. Maybe. Oh, what if? What if? Oh, wouldn't that be something else? Jim said, I really want it to be Stu as the ringleader. That would make me stand up and cheer. I would be so happy. We'll get to that in a moment. Turgle said, oh my God, it's Martha, isn't it? Probably could be. Gory Bit said, the only prediction I have is that one of, if not all of the killers is someone from the past, perhaps someone we've forgotten about. That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm hoping. That is what I'm hoping. Corey says, we better get some damn chase scenes. Heck yes, we better. And we better get Red Right Hand coming back. We better. They did it for 5. Let's see if they'll do it for 6. Trash Stash said, maybe Ghostface will be Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang Clan, also New York celebrity. Maybe. Everything's on the table, you know, at this point. Katie, hi Katie Draper, said, who is your favorite killer from the series? Katie, it's Stu Macher. And as I was seeing, Stu is all of the Ghostface memorabilia I have. It's all Stu. There's a Stu on this shirt. This is Stu behind this mask. That's Stu over there. It's all Stu. Stu Macher is hands down my favorite because Matthew Lillard is like one of my favorite actors of all time. I will watch anything that he is in, and I have been going through his entire filmography. And we'll get to more on that toward the end of this episode because I have something very, very exciting to announce. Mikey said the I'm different line would hit different if there was an implication that one of the past ghost faces survived. Ooh, what if? He's like, what if Jill was the only one not to get headshot? Now I'm just wishful thinking, what if it's Jill? She didn't get her fame and fortune before, but I feel like she's kind of like a weak ghost face. Anyway, I mean, she wasn't. She was absolutely insane. Her and Stu were, in my opinion, the most insane ghost faces, period. More gore for part 6 too. Yes, gory bits. If there's one thing I also really liked about part 5, it was the intensity of a lot of the stuff. Very, very gory. Turgles. So who exactly are all the ghost faces? We'll find out. Turgles also said the Okay, listen. I don't know exactly how to pronounce this, and I'm not getting the reference, so you'll have to forgive me. The RZA, the GZA, the OBD. I am so sorry. Trash Stash said Matthew Lillard was the coolest hack. Dude, Matthew Lillard as a punk in anything. Oh, oh, oh. I was frozen there for a minute, but I'm trying to reel it back in. Gory Bit said Roman doesn't get the credit he deserves. Part 3 is my favorite of the sequels. That is awesome to hear. Not a lot of people talk about how much they love 3. There is a Scream dedicated podcast out there. His name is Ryan that runs it. And he is basically, as big of a Scream fan as I am and a Nightmare on Elm Street fan. And I believe his favorite is 3. Which is great to hear. But then again, like, my favorite is New Nightmare out of all the nightmares. Sometimes deep fans really just get into it. And I will never turn down anything Parker Posey is in. Parker Posey for Evs. Jim said serial killer is awesome. Trash Stash said SLC punk. Amen, man, that blue hair. Nick, hey Nick, love your background. Great channel. Thanks so much, bud. I so totally appreciate you tuning in. Yes, I do love to have all my stuff in here. You wouldn't believe how small this room actually is. It's quite teensy. So I'm out of room. Oh my God, Stu, what are you doing, my man? Look at him. He's had too much to drink. He's not with me right now. Sammy said, if it's Stu, I'd be hyped. I'd love for him to go off and say it's because he was always in the shadows of Billy Loomis. That's my thing. And it's time for him to have his name remembered. Amen. Amen. Katie said, are you counting down to the Five Nights at Freddy movie coming out with our main man, Matt? Oh, I am counting down everything he is in. I will be there. First showtime. 100%. Maybe watch it several times. I don't know. Corey said, see, Debbie Salt and Mickey, I thought were great. Debbie Salt was, yeah, she got the crazy eyes. And Mickey, yeah, he is very, very cool. I love anything that he's in, like Santa Clarita Diet. He's great. He was creepy. He was just such a brutal ghost face, to be honest. I really, really did like him. I would say he's probably the third craziest ghost face. But I would say my second favorite ghost face is probably Mickey. Yeah. My first, Stu, then Mickey. But I also think that Stu and Jill were the craziest, followed by Mickey. But that's just my order of operation. So Sammy was talking about it being Stu because he's always feeling like he's in Billy's shadow. And that's what I thought was potentially going to happen in 5 because everyone was like, Billy Loomis and his, daughter, Billy Loomis and his friend did all of this. Billy Loomis and his friend. And they never mentioned him. They were never like Stu Mocker, except when they were like, hey, that guy over there who's played by Kyle Gallner, that's really guys related to Stu. That was the only thing, but it was always Billy and his friend. And so it just felt like Stu was in the shadows and he was going to pop out, but maybe that's it. Because Sam is pointing the knife at somebody and she's like, if you want me, come and get me. So maybe it's just, and Sam's saying that it's her past that's come back to haunt her. Okay, so who is in the past that's coming back to haunt them? Is it Stu? Did he survive? Did he, is he coming back to come after her to eliminate Billy's bloodline and get his revenge? That would be pretty sweet. But then how could you top it in part 7, What if that's a part 7 move? I wonder if they'll stay in New York for part 7 or if they'll go back to Woodsboro. Leave a comment. Let's see. Mikey said the one way I can see Sydney being the killer is if after they reveal her, the camera moves back and the cast is like, what the F? And then Scream 7 is revealed to be a new Nightmare type movie. Ooh. That's one of the other theories or like cool things that I would love to see. Jim said, Sammy, that is exactly why I think it's him. It perfectly ties into all the previous films. Amen. Corey, what the heck did you take back your message? Say it again or retype it. I don't know. Corey Bit said part 7 needs some time travel or space. Send them to space. Ghostface in space. You know, they all go to space. Like mostly everybody. Time travel would be wild. I don't know. Make it happen. It would be cool. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking is, Stu's got to come back. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh no, he's dead," and Ian Matthew Lillard's like, "Oh no, he's dead." But like I said, maybe he's not dead, and they're just saying that, you know, to try to fool you, doing the best that they can. But it would be a sick, sweet comeback. But I would love, you know what I would really love to see, and maybe this is why they're in, I don't know, partially why they're in New York or something. Like, there's Comic Cons, big horror cons. Maybe there's a Stab reunion somewhere. Even if this was 7, maybe it is a new nightmare. Maybe Ghostface is coming back to, is haunting people for, in the real world for being a part of the movies. And you bring back all the cast because they're actually alive and you get to revisit some old memories. Like, that would be a great way to bring it full circle, considering that New Nightmare was basically the spark that lit the fire of Scream. And that would be wonderful, if they had like a Scream reunion or something like that, or if it was just Stab at some point, just the mass fandomness of Stab, because it's always been a part of the movies, the Stabathons. People love to see it. It's a classic in this universe. So potentially maybe there could be outlets to showcase horror cons, to showcase the evolution of horror fans, to talk about that a little bit. That would be so awesome. Awesome. Corey said, so what do we think about our Miss Weathers in chapter 6? What do we think? This is her movie. Every other movie has kind of had a focus on more of the other people, or it's been Sydney. We've not really had too much of Gale and Ghostface interacting, and it's really that time. So I hope she gets to do more of it. I don't know. What do you guys think is going on with Gale and Ghostface? What role do you think Gale Weathers is going to play in this? Jim said Gale is gonna get it. You think she's gonna die? Not my Gale. Please, not my Gale. Trash Stash said, call him Space Face. Space Ghost. That's what it is. Space Ghost. And then the mantis shows up and then they talk about, I don't know, the 70s, whatever. Corey said, that's Toby and Andrew said about Spider-Man and No Way Home. They swore up and down they weren't in it. Oh, see? Everybody's always like, it's not me. And then they're like, maybe it is me. Mikey said, yes, love you, New Nightmare, Scream idea. I need this now. I need it so bad. Can you imagine just the camera coming down on a packed hallway in a convention area with the Stab, like posters and cosplay and memorabilia and people signing autographs that were in the Stab movies, or like Gail's there signing her book, something like that. Like they have age 40, now age 45. Maybe there's gonna be like a Stab only convention. That would be cool. I would love that because we got to showcase how horror has evolved because it really is different than it has been. Even in 2011, it was different. It was really different. I mean, horror cons were so small then. And yes, we've got fans complaining about, movies and that they're not as great as they have been, blah, blah, blah. But now we're still evolving. So what's next? Sorry, Stu. Nick said, I disagree with a lot of fellow Scream fans, but I love the theories, love the conversations, and love that we all enjoy these movies. It's fun to talk about all our thoughts together. Yeah. So, Nick, I'm curious what you disagree with a lot of horror fans, or rather Scream fans. If you want to talk about some of your thoughts, I'd love to hear them. And I'm not trying to be like, well, tell me what you think. I want to know. And then like attack you. I'm just curious. I want to see how you disagree. I like when people disagree. Gory said, a Stab convention within the film. That's genius. Thank you. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? I want it so badly. Show the world that horror cons are massive and they're real. Have you people you people. Sorry, guys. Have you told a lot of people over the years just that you go to horror cons and you're like, hey, I go to horror cons. And they're like, what kind of conventions? I'm like, horror cons. And they go, there are conventions for that? I'm like, oh, honey, they're everywhere. And they've gotten so big, you know? And bit sweet. Just saying. Trash Stash said, "LOL." That was really weird. Sorry, the way I said that. I loved Space Ghost. The mantis sounds kind of like Ghostface's voice. He does. Wouldn't that be funny if they unmasked him and it was the mantis? Telling you, they could make anything happen in the Scream films. Gory Bits said, did anyone else pre-order their Ghostface popcorn buckets? Listen, I thought about it. I really did, but it feel like it takes away the magic of like going and picking it up. So I'm still on the fence about whether or not I wanna buy it because I feel like I'm out of space, but it's so cool, and, like, some of the other stuff they have is super cool, so I don't know. I'm hoping that when I go to the movies that they have something or they've, like, restocked it, something. Have it there for the first couple of days at least. Don't tell anybody about it, just do it. Jim said, "I love the faces people make when I say I go to horror cons." Yeah, they're super, like, flabbergasted. "You silly people. You silly people. I'll tell you all about it. You should come with me sometimes." That's what I always tell them. "You should come with me." And they're like, "Yeah, sure." I'm like, "You be addicted. I'm just saying. Come to the dark side. We have Freddy Krueger." Corey said, "It's totally Zorak." Oh, probably. Next up, I disagree on your boy Stu. I want him to be dead. This is a pretty popular theory. I like that Scream is more reality based than some other franchises, but I absolutely get why people want him back. Hate away on me, LMAO. Nah, I don't hate it all. I totally get it. His head was smashed. He was laying there. There's no way somebody could have covered him up, right? Nobody would have covered it up that I can think of. Maybe. He probably really is dead. But the idea of Matthew Lillard coming back to Scream, a girl can wish. But a lot of people really are like, don't bring him back. That's so stupid. I hate that. But I'm not one of them. Corey said, I am stoked seeing it on the 9th at 5. Man, I'm seeing it on the 9th too. Next week. It's happening. I'm so excited. Sammy said, Gory Bits, I did. There's no Cinemark in New York, so I had to. There's no Cinemark in New York. Really? Surprising to me. I would have thought they would have. I thought New York had a little bit of everything. Trash Stash said Ghostface is gonna slice Gail's hair up and give her the part 3 bangs. No! What if? What if? That would be so horrifying. What if he gives everybody Gail's Scream 3 bangs? Oh no! That's terrible. Ah. Israel, hey, what's up? Said, how do you feel about the 3D? I mean, I'm not really big into 3D. I hate wearing those stupid glasses. I'm not seeing it in 3D the first time. Maybe the second time we'll see. But everybody, they're getting better with the 3D. But like when they go to slash and they just go whoosh and it reaches out, it's usually pretty cheesy, but it's a cool idea. I mean, they've done all kinds of stuff in 3D in horror movies, so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that it just looks awesome. I'm hoping people start rolling out more 4D theaters. My sister has a 4D theater near her, and she saw Avatar that way, and she was like, they were spraying water on me, and the seats were moving, and I was like, that's so cool. I want that. Spray a little blood on me, like Evil Dead the musical, where they have a splash zone and everybody has to bring a poncho, or you don't have to bring a poncho if you want. You just wear all white and look cool when you leave. Corey said, being in the Bible Belt, my family is ready to pray for my immortal soul when I go to see y'all at horror cons. Oh, I bet they are, Corey. I bet they are. My grandma still has a cross over my picture, and she's like, are you over that phase yet? I'm like, Grandma, it has been half my life. Have you seen? It's not a phase, Grandma. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. Enjoy. Israel said, I'm going to the fan event and it has to be 3D. Fan event? Tell me about this fan event. Gorybit said, that's it. Scream the musical. We need that sequel. Somebody's got to make it. How cool would that be a Scream the Musical that includes the audience? Out of everything, Scream the Musical could be so interactive. Oh, one of these colleges with these smart theater kids has to put it on. Maybe that's your project, Corey. Maybe you can be like, "Hey, I think we should do this on your channel," and people will be like, "Mm, yes, that's a great idea. Let's put it on." Jim said, "Evil Dead the Musical was one of the coolest things I've ever attended. I bought the soundtrack." Oh, dude, I don't know how I stumbled into it. I think it was in college or something like that, and I freaking love the soundtrack. Oh, um, what the was that? Oh, such a funny song. Such a funny song. Sometimes I'm like, "Cabin in the woods, ooh," oh, great music in that, great music in that. Israel said they are giving a poster in Cinemark. Oh, cool. That's awesome. You need to see American Psycho the musical. Yes, I do. I really do. Oh my gosh, do I ever. I would be so happy. Sammy said, I'm pretty sure there's a Stab the Musical poster in the fan event poster. I did see something about that. I did see something. I saw some like posters going around. Did you see the Stab? That's what I'm thinking. There could be a Stab the Musical in this one since they're in New York. Because I saw a poster that I think was like an official poster produced by Paramount, I don't know, of a play on the Phantom of the Opera with the Ghostface mask, which is so sick, and I kinda wanna get that tattooed on me. I mean, I'm a big Phantom of the Opera fan, and I was gonna get the rose with the black ribbon on it because that is my thing. That is the thing that I want, just that thing. But with the Ghostface mask like that, 2 birds, 1 stone, Phantom and Scream, would love it. Jim said, "We are indeed kindred spirits." Israel said, "Speaking of the American Psycho, I found a CD with the songs of the show. Still need to listen to it." Awesome, awesome. So what other theories do you guys have about Scream 6, getting back to it? What do you think is gonna happen there? Put anything out on the table that you think. I am kinda hoping that, maybe Kirby is one of the killers. That would be pretty sweet. I know Samara Weaving is in the very beginning, and that is awesome. She is one of my favorite actresses, and, to have her be in a Scream movie is gonna be really, really cool, but I think she might be the opening kill. We'll see. We'll see, we'll see. I feel like I really blasted through this week talking to you guys. There's a lot to get excited about, but like I said, I really don't know what the theory is, like, what's gonna happen in this next movie. Um, when are you guys seeing it? Are you seeing it on Thursday or Friday? And does everybody's theater have Thursday options now since we no longer do midnight screenings? Corey said, oh, wait. Jim said, I think you are right with the true crime bend in this one. I think the cop will be involved as well. Ooh, that would be cool. Corey said, so Samara Weaving is in the movie. I think she's one of the killers. What if? She'd be such a good killer. Have you seen her in Guns Akimbo? What an attitude that woman has. Or like Maniac, or shoot, The Babysitter. Love her. Gory Bit said, I have a feeling that Gail is going to bite the dust. Why? Is it because we just wanna get rid of all the OGs? Is it just her time? Do we wanna completely move on? Why would Gale bite the dust? Because we have to see how serious this Ghostface is, because he's not like everybody else. He's not a pick me. I think Ghostface is going to live in the sewers. Most New York movies have someone living in the sewers, Trash Stash says. What if? And what if he discovers a pink goo down there? And then, he has to play, lifting me higher, and then to like kill people and take over the Statue of Liberty. Ghostbusters too. Trash Stash said maybe some Seinfeld cameos. Dude, you're really setting my expectations super high here. Sammy said seeing it Saturday at the drive-in. The drive-in? Oh, heck yeah. I hope it's nuts. I hope people are so excited. They're screaming and laughing. And I hope when I see it in the theater on Thursday, that people are just going crazy. Because there have only been a handful of times when I've watched a movie in the theaters and people have really enjoyed it. And I hope people are just so freaking excited. When I saw Scream 4 at the midnight showing when the movie came out, um, when Sydney said, "You forgot the first rule of remakes, Jill, don't with the original." the whole theater was clapping, and I was like, "This is it. This is the moment that we should always have in movies." But we haven't seen much of that since, so, a girl can dream. What if it is Stu? And he's like, "I'm Stu Macher," and everyone's like, "Ah!" You will hear, if nobody else says anything in the theater, you will hear me in the back go, "Ah!" You'll just hear a noise like that, and they'll know. They will know. Sammy said, "If Gail dies, I hope Ghostface says, 'I'll send you a copy of our recording to kill.'" Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That would be a clap moment for me. I would just clap so hard because that would be epic. I'd be super sad that Gail is dead, but like, what a burn. You know what I'm saying? Jim said, "Every Scream, with the exception of 4, has killed an OG from the original. MS Weathers, I'm sorry, Miss Weathers, is the only one left since Sydney isn't in it that we know of." Dun, dun, dun. We have 13 people here. Anybody else have any thoughts? You can totally disagree with me. Trust me. I'm not gonna, jump on you or anything. I just want everybody to just throw up their thoughts. Have you guys been watching everything going on? Have you been reading interviews? Have you been, you know, uh, listening to podcasts? Is there any detail that you might have discovered that is not a spoiler and does not ruin the movie, but you find to be very interesting? Let me know in the comments. And if you are tuning into this after the live has aired, please know that I still read the comments and I still want you guys to leave comments because I want to have an open discussion with everybody as much as possible. Corey said, "It's Tatum's twin sister. What if?" And she's even sassier. Cinecrypt, hey, welcome. Corey said, or Joe Gale's cameraman from Scream 2. What if? What if he came back? Who else could come back that could potentially be the killer from the past? Let's talk about that. Who do we think could come back from the past? That might not be Stu, but it's probably Stu. That could come back and, kind of lead the charge. I hope it is somebody surprising. That would be cool. Jim said, "With the exception of this, I have been avoiding all Scream previews and news. I don't want to encounter spoiler." I know, same. Somebody out there has been spoiling some stuff, and I am just terrified that I'm going to pop into Twitter one day and it's going to be right there at the top, and I am going to lose my crap. Spoilers. Movies don't create psychos. Spoilers create psychos. Corey said same. Yeah, man. Same. But earlier I had mentioned that Matthew Lillard is my favorite Ghostface. And of course, that's why I'm so stuck on Stu. Ooh. Cinecrypt said, "I find it funny we mentioned Cult of Ghostface a few weeks ago, and it seems like that's what they are doing." It seems like that. So, but here's a recap of some of the things that I'm thinking for everybody else who might be joining later. I'm wondering if there's an intersection of true crime and the movies because true crime is so big today. And there's that whole, shrine that somebody has that's just basically memorabilia. Like how horror fans today collect so many screen use props. These are from the real, movies. So maybe it is a Cult of Ghostface thing, and maybe it's, Mindy or Kirby. Who was the head of it? Who was like Kirby, went through everything in Scream 4 and she was such a big horror fan and she disappeared. But what if she came back and she's like obsessed with it now and she like wants to be Ghostface? What if that's it? And she's like leading this cult of Ghostface that's essentially like a bunch of fans, you know? What if? Sammy said, "Kenny, the cameraman's angered child who wants to kill Gail for her blatant fat movie." Oh, probably. Corey said, "Do we think Sam embraces her dark side?" I wonder. They kind of hinted it at it in the end of 5, and like, don't mess with serial killer's daughter. So maybe they still keep leaning harder into that, and maybe in 7 she finally snaps. Who knows? I feel like there's got to be something, but it also feels like she could just be a badass and she's going to stay good. She has these crazy visions, but she's still gonna be a good guy. Just like a different variation on a Final Girl, which I'm okay with. I hope they continue to make different variations on Final Girls. I hope there are more goth Final Girls. I'd really like that. He Who Turgle said could be a cop who wants to be the hero of the story. I think Dermot Mulroney's character is supposed to be a detective, plus Ghostface MOS don't usually involve firearms. They don't. Although, I mean, Billy was unmasked, but he did, use a gun. They don't normally use firearms, but he did say he's not like anybody else. So maybe he's just training a bunch of stuff. Cinecrip said Kirby teaming with Randy's sister due to previous drama. Maybe. Maybe that's it. Maybe they've become obsessed with this because they can't stop thinking about it, because they have to, overcome this fear. So they submerge themselves in this world of Ghostface. Maybe, after that, maybe she did become obsessed. Maybe she did become obsessed. Maybe they lost it. Who knows? But why would they be going after Sam? What does she have to offer? I mean, obviously, everybody else, it was like Sydney Prescott, it was her mom, and she's the final girl, and everybody's going after her because she's Sydney Prescott, and Sydney Prescott and Ghostface, and everyone's like, I gotta get Sydney Prescott. But Sam, what the heck else did she do? Leave a comment. But what I was gonna say is that, Stu being my favorite of all the ghost faces, I had the honor of meeting. Hey, Danny. Um, we also know that Scream really relies on those family ties. True, Corey. True, Corey. So might be a different family tie. We'll see. Um, Anywho, I keep getting sidetracked because I just love reading people's comments. So thank you guys so much for commenting. But I had the honor of meeting Matthew Lillard last year for first time in my life. I was so freaking stoked. And my friend Brittany, who is also a massive Scream fan and just like a massive Skeet Ulrich fan, like people send her Skeet stuff all the time. I send her Skeet memes and Skeet images. Like people were coming up to her and was like, "Have you met Skeet yet? Have you met Skeet?" Because everybody knows. So last year at Horror Hound, when they have the massive Scream reunion, we went and we got a chance to meet our faves, but we also got a chance to talk to some other fans too. And, you know, we got some really great, and by we, I mean Jason and I, but mostly Jason, because I was just kind of helping. Got some really great footage of, the con scene and me meeting Matthew for the first time and Brittany meeting Skeet for the first time. And you've got to see this footage. You could just see everything going on. It's incredible. Like, we got to get up close and personal with these, like, filming them. We got the okays from their management to do it, and it was all good and everything. And we just got some sick footage. So we have created a little tribute to, meeting your heroes and people that you really love. And then also the impact of Scream and, being at cons and how wonderful it is. And mostly it is about Brittany and Skeet and meeting him. And she's basically the Billy Loomis to my Stu, because we did a cosplay during the pandemic of her as Billy and me as Stu. And it was just our two guys right there. And we really, really not only wanted to meet them individually, but get to see them together. And we did. And we have some really cool reactions in this. So you'll get a look into just, a huge Scream convention and people who love the movies and people who are meeting the celebs from these movies and how exciting that it can be. So it's just a nice little nugget to show off conventions and Horror Hound and what it was like that weekend for us to meet the guys that we admire so much for the first time. So We will be releasing that next week here on the Captain Sassy channel. So I hope you guys will look forward to seeing that, and we'll have some more details about that in the next couple of days about when that's going to be coming out. So yeah, very, very excited. Hi, everybody. Um, bye, Turgles. Thanks for coming by. But yeah, that's it. I really appreciate you guys being here with me this week to talk about what we think is going to happen in Scream. I'm really proud of you guys for not being like, I heard, and instead just kind of, using our knowledge of what's going on in horror, what's going on in the world of Scream and things like that to come up with your own theories. Because, when we think about these things as long as we do, we always come up with theories. I was with Anthony from the Fredhead Stock, one of my best friends, over the weekend, and we were just talking about some of the theories that we had for, Nancy, what happened to her after Nightmare 1. And of course, we kind of brought all of our theories together in Nightmare 3 and then Don't Fall Asleep. Sorry, the fan film available on YouTube. And Anthony and I never talked about the title of our little fan fiction, but we wrote fan fictions that take place, like, basically the same thing happens, and we called it the same thing. So I always like hearing fellow fan theories because we just noodle and noodle and noodle, and we like to predict and get creative and think of stories because we're really, really passionate about these movies and storytelling and everything. So I really appreciate you guys coming on and talking about your predictions, and we'll have to get together after the movie and talk about Scream 6 and what you thought. There will not be AMI Spooky Studio next week because we will be away. So we will release the little doc slash, celebration video of Scream at Horror Hound next week. And hope you guys enjoy that because there are some really fun moments in it that, like, I'm so glad we got on camera. And Jason did such a good job capturing everything. It's lovely. It's lovely. We had so much fun doing it. I'm very passionate about going to cons and talking to people and covering cons. Not a lot of people really do that for horror. And I love doing that because I just love talking to other people. It's like one of my favorite things in the world is talking to other people about their obsessions and what they're passionate about because you see their eyes light up and you know that they've probably been picked on it in their life for liking it. Because, I've been in their shoes. We've all been in their shoes. We are, we have our own pair of shoes. But yeah, it's really special stuff for me. And I hope you guys will get a kick out of that next week. Let's see. I'm gonna see a couple of comments before I officially say goodbye. Trash Stash, see you next time. Corey said, excited to meet Clint Howard this June at a con here in Sacramento County. That is awesome. Corey said, so glad I caught you this week. It's been eventful. Yes, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, no spoilers, please. Jim said, I heard the whole movie takes place on a boat in New York. It only takes 30 minutes in New York, just like Jason Takes Manhattan. Yes, I heard Ghostface starts punching people's heads off. Sammy said, ta-ta, Scream freaks. Corey said, Jason's awesome, great job. Yes, Brandon, the Bedlam said, oh, hello, Deandra in chat. Hi, everybody. If you missed it, if you're tuning in now, this will be available for you to watch afterward. And enjoy Scream 6. Enjoy it. Have an incredible time. Get a big bucket of popcorn. Get your favorite drink. Bring your family, bring your friends, whether you're seeing it at the drive-in, whether you're seeing it, at a movie theater, whether you have to wait a little bit. I hope you have fun. Because going to movies out in public, like that first night when you see a movie, like the Thursday before the Friday, because like you'd have to be a movie fan, especially a fan of something to be like, all right, it says it comes out on Friday, but then know that it happens on Thursday and take time to go see it on a Thursday night. Those people are big fans. So it's really special to see it with other big fans. But no, I did not get the popcorn bucket. I did not get the popcorn bucket. I kept forgetting to go find it, but I hope that it might be nearby. Thought about pre-ordering it, but I'm not entirely sure because I just don't have anywhere really to put a bunch of stuff right now. So, but I'm on the fence. Thursday night, baby. Thursday night. Anywho, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all of you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Enjoy Scream 6. Get ready to talk about it the Tuesday after the movie. And I'll see you guys around. And once again, keep an eye out for our little Scream video coming out next week. It is super special. So, yeah, talk to you guys later. And bye-bye, Scream freaks. Later, spooksters.